Hello and welcome back to another informative episode of Competitive Games. Last episode we looked at David Sirlin's essay Play to Win. This episode we will begin to critique Sirlin's argument. We can begin by thinking about Sirlin's background. Recall that much of his experience, shown by the examples he uses, draws on the Street Fighter arcade games. This is important because it colors Sirlin's perspective about game design. Arcade games are static. They are made, shipped, and remain as is, unless their box is manually tinkered with. It's important, then, to recognize that games have changed considerably. While some games may still be considered static, there is a growing trend in game design to establish games as what I would call living artifacts. What I mean is that many games are now connected to the internet. Even games played on consoles like the Xbox 360 can be online. When games are connected to the internet, they have the potential to come alive in ways that arcade games never could. That is, the game developers can update, patch, and add content and changes to the game. And this has a profound effect on competitive games and competitive play. This means that the landscape of competitive games changes in ways that Sirlin's argument does not acknowledge. When games are changed periodically, the rules of the game change, and as the rules are of vital importance for Sirlin's argument, for playing to win, these changes are studied by gamers like pre-med students study for the MCATs. Remember that to play to win means playing against the rules of the game, not any fictitious mentally constructed rules. So, competitive players become students of the rules. We see this in the work that goes into theory crafting in games like World of Warcraft. Theory crafting is basically players attempting to quantify the rules of the game to be more competitive. It involves testing, studying, researching, and calculating elements of gameplay to better understand how the game is programmed. And this has interesting ramifications when it comes to competition. The coding of video games is not typically available for anyone to see, it is proprietary. Some game studies scholars have used black box as a metaphor to describe games. And as players tease out the rules of the game, theorycraft the code, the black box shifts from opaque to translucent, even transparent in some areas. It turns into a white box. When this happens, we see players begin to lobby for certain game changes. What does this have to do with Sirlin? Well, because he argues that players who play to win should play against the rules, the ability to lobby developers to change the rules alters the way we must think about competitive games, play, and design. That's it for this episode. Next episode we will continue exploring the effect that games as living artifacts has on competition, so check back. Thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.